Well, good evening, everyone, or good morning or afternoon, depending where you're joining us from. Welcome back here to the Launchpad. You're here for our live coverage of tonight's launch out of Japan of the H-IIA rocket, the 202 variant. We are sitting at about T minus 15 minutes and counting for tonight's liftoff, carrying a communication satellite into a geosynchronous orbit, launching into an inclination of 45 degrees. But as always, as we get started, let's see you in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. If you can hear us, let us know that as well. We'd love to welcome you here. If you're new to the streams, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad, and this is our live launch coverage of tonight's Japan launch. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. We believe explorers can be on the ground looking into space or up in space themselves, and we believe space is better together. So we invite you to be part of our crew by subscribing, joining the Discord. The link will be in the chat in a moment. Yeah, we hope to see you guys here for future live coverage, star-based tracking as we count down towards the orbital flight test, exclusive interviews, and a lot more. See lots of common faces in the chat. Great to see you, Alex, Into the Cosmos, Not Here, SAS, Conan, Kevin, OG. Great to see you all here tonight. If you guys have questions, as always, you can send those in the chat. Just tag us at the Launchpad, and we'll be answering those here live. But as we get started, break down a little bit about tonight's flight and what we're expecting to see. I'll apologize in advance for mispronouncing some of these names. I know I'm going to be doing that. But here we go. Tonight's mission is the QZS or ZS -1R mission. It's a geographic positioning satellite that's going to be launching out of the Yoshinbu Launch Complex in Tangashima, Japan. I hope I said that close to right. But that's where they're going to be launching from here tonight. Payload mass of 4,000 kilograms or 8,800 pounds. This is the 27th launch of the H-IIA rocket in the 202 variant, and the 44th launch of an H-IIA rocket overall in its history. We are seeing a couple different live views, so we'll be jumping back and forth between those here this evening as we count down towards that T0 time here. We're currently at T minus 12 minutes and 40 seconds until that. The H-IIA rocket is not a recoverable rocket, so it will crash into the ocean, so it is an entirely new rocket. But if you're just joining us, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to see you in here as we count down towards the flight into the cosmos. Is watching from planet Earth. Awesome. Kevin's in Chino Hills. We've got Stam in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Dirtfoot in Tampa Bay. Great to see you all here as we count down these last 12 minutes until liftoff of tonight's rocket. Went live a little bit closer to the T0. We weren't too sure if there'd be live streams with a lot of the Asia rockets. It's not as confirmed whether they'll be live or not for it, but they went live here tonight, so we're excited to be here. But take a moment, let us take a moment and share out the broadcast. Let people know that we are live and that they've got a few minutes to get here and get into the chat. Today's mission will be a Mitsubishi Heavy Industries launch, which will be launching one geographic positioning satellite into a geosynchronous orbit at a 45-degree inclination for tonight's mission. This mission will be replacing a satellite that was launched in 2010. And it'll be launching, as I said, from that Yoshinobu launch complex in Japan, and will mark the 44th flight of that rocket that you're seeing on your screen now, the H-IIA 202 variant. So it looks like they're going to break down a little bit about it there. The satellite is going into a constellation of geographic positioning satellites. Currently, there are 4 other satellites in that constellation, the first being launched in 2010, and the satellites were designed only for 10 years life service. So 2020 was the cutoff, and they're coming up here about a year and a half over the expected lifespan to replace that first satellite, which means we do expect to see 3 more of these over the next few years being launched. Alfie, can I repeat that? I even repeated it before seeing your comment. So here's hopefully that we're saying it right. Thomas finally got you two to fix your name. Awesome. Liz, I'm assuming that it's not a manned launch. Correct. No, it is a cargo launch of a communications geographic satellite here tonight. Currently sitting at T minus 9 minutes. Which launch complex? You guys can Google it. I'm going to say it wrong. I know I'm going to. But you can see that launch complex on your screen. This is even going to show you now where this launch complex is. Maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing that they put a map on the screen and that's what they're going to show us. But we'll have to wait and see. We're going to keep switching back and forth. We got a few different feeds here from the launch agency getting ready for tonight's launch here. We'll actually switch back to the map here really quick, showing the direction of the launch from where it'll be going from that launch site through the sequence here. But if you're just joining us, welcome. You're here for our live launch coverage of tonight's launch out of Japan of the H-IIA rocket, with carrying one communication satellite on board. We're currently sitting at T minus 9 minutes and counting, and we're about a minute away from them going into their final sequence count for the liftoff here tonight. The H-IIA 202 variant rocket is a two-stage liquid fuel medium lift launch vehicle by the Mitsubishi, one of those ones, Heavy Industries for JAXA. It's about 53 meters or 174 feet tall and has a 4 meter or 13-foot diameter. It's capable of placing 4,000 kilograms into a geostationary orbit. Its maiden flight took place in 2001 on August 29th. Since then, it's launched 43 times, just this variant. So there's been other H-IIA rocket launches of the 204 variant, as well as just the regular 2024 and the 2022 variants. So they have a number of different versions here for the depending what they're needing to launch. The first stage engine is the LE-7A engine, uses liquid hydrogen and LOX. And the solid rocket boosters, of course, are a solid rocket booster there. And then the second stage, as well as liquid hydrogen and LOX. Just want to double check that that is actually liquid hydrogen. I believe that is. Double check that here. One quick second, guys. Yep, liquid hydrogen 2, LH2. Double check that. But a two-stage rocket here, along with some SRBs on the side. A little bit of a plan out for what you can expect once we reach that T0. At T minus 5 seconds, we expect to see the ignition of the main engines, and then at T minus 1 second, ignitions of those SRBs have liftoff. The SRBs will burn out at about T plus 1 minute 40 seconds, followed by separation. We'll have fairing separation at T plus 3 minutes 25 seconds, with main engine cutoff or MECO at T plus 6 minutes 36 seconds. First stage separation shortly after that, T plus 6 minutes 44 seconds, followed by second stage engine ignition cutoff, and as well as a second burn of the second stage over the course of about 25 minutes there, with final second stage separation expected at T plus 28 minutes and 26 seconds. So we are keeping an eye on that countdown clock as things transition towards that T0 count. First time I think we've covered a Japan launch here tonight, so excited that you guys are here with us. We are keeping an eye on a few different views, but the rocket is looking good out on the pad. Another one of the most beautiful launch sites in the world there, right along the ocean with some nice views off to the side. But if you're just joining us, I see a bunch of people jumping in. Welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. You're joining us for our live coverage of tonight's QZ or ZS-1R launch of tonight's H-IIA rocket out of Japan. SAS Aerospace, thank you so much for that super chat. Here's to a good launch. By the way, Zach, you're awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for being part of our crew. Liberty, dude, you're back. Liberty, dude, you can't keep doing that. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving of your time. Wave bye-bye, Rocket. Liberty, dude, you're amazing. Thank you so much for supporting us in that way. Alex says nothing better than a night launch, at least for you. for it. Number one aliens saying light this candle. Absolutely. T minus 5 minutes and 15 seconds and counting. Hey, David, good to see you. Some baby solid rocket boosters. Colo Radio, this is live. We are currently live and in person on the radio, I guess on the video. So, but if you are new, take a moment. Don't forget to smash that like button. Wow, over 400 people watching already. That's incredible. For it, let's see, can we get to that 250 like mark? Really does help out the video there, and it's a free thing to do. So take a moment, hit that like, and if you're new, subscribe. We cover all launches, Starbase coverage, and exclusive interviews and space news. So we'd be glad to have you here, and you can do so free by clicking that subscribe button. There you go, Thomas. Right on cue. Didn't even see that. Conan, Liberty Dew, give us a fortune. Liberty Dew is incredible. We appreciate the support. Kevin, thanks for the coverage. Blue Fire, kind of miss guest hosts. Blue Fire, is that you, Ben? Is that your secondary account? Preston, hey Zach, what is launching? So they are launching one geographic positioning satellite on board the rocket here this evening, coming up to that T-minus 4 minute mark in the count. Expecting those propellant valve closures in about 40 seconds from now. Into the Cosmos, is that a hint of a TLP radio show? Not directly on radio, but podcast, yes. Absolutely. HK's asking, are you streaming James Webb? Absolutely, we're streaming James Webb. We can't miss that one. No way we could miss the James Webb telescope. Brad saying it replaces, yes, tonight's satellite replaces the first of 4 satellites in a constellation that they have. First one launched in 2010, was only expected to last 10 years, has lasted almost 12, so they are ready to definitely replace it with some newer tech up there as well. Thomas actually just realized there was a launch like 10 minutes ago and already has over 470 viewers. I knew this launch was occurring yesterday, but we didn't know that there was going to be actual coverage available. So we're always hit and miss on what coverage we can get, but we're glad to have it. Glad to have you guys here. I'm showing 260 people watching, Kelly. Maybe refresh, Kelly? I'm not too sure. I got a live view. We just passed 5 on my end. So there's always a little delay. If you're just joining us, welcome. You're here for our live launch coverage of tonight's Japan launch of the H-IIA rocket of the 202 variant. Glad to have you guys here with us. I believe this is the first time we're covering a Japan launch live, so we're glad to have you all with us here in the chat and in person. Glad to answer your guys' questions, so you can send those in. Just tag us at the Launchpad, and we'll be answering those. We don't fully know what to expect from tonight's launch coverage. I will, of course, bring that to you in its full, hopefully through payload deployment, so we'll wait and see what occurs there. But as we come down to the last 2 minutes until counting, 2 things you got to do. 1, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. And 2, as always, we want to see a go, no go in the chat. Should we actually launch this rocket? Brent, oh no, not another variant. These variants are good, Brent. These are good variants. Let's see it go there. We are coming down here to... We're seeing a lot of the launch site start to become active. We've seen the tank fuelings are starting to receive their last little bits, their top-offs, getting preparation for the launch here in T-minus 1 minute from now. We're seeing lots of goes in the chat. Great to have you all here. We'll try to see if there's some audio for it. T-minus 30 seconds coming up here on mark. T-minus 30 seconds. We're preparing to turn the rocket over onto flight mode. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, main engine start, 4, 3, 2, ignition, and liftoff. There we go. We got liftoff of tonight's H-IIA 2 of 2 variant. Successful liftoff of H-IIA carrying the QZS-1R, a replacement satellite for a communications constellation set of 4, launching from the Yoshinobu Launch Complex in Japan. We're expecting XRB burnout in about 30 seconds from now, followed by the staging of those SRBs almost immediately following. But a nice, quick, clean liftoff, just leaps off the pad there, really, really quick. Yeah, rip to headphones users. Sorry there, that was a bit loud. Coming up on 15 seconds until SRB burnout. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and SRB burnout should occur. 10 seconds till jettison. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should see the jettisoning of the SRBs here. And there they go, separating from the H-IIA rocket. I'm wondering if this guy's going to count the entire time. We're going to turn him down just a little bit, but we'll keep that audio in there. T plus 2 minutes into the count. Next up, we're expecting fairing separation at T plus 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Ooh, we're going to move me out of the way here. Couple super chats came in there, somewhat popular. Love the channel, keep it up. Thank you so much for supporting there. I appreciate that so much. And Justin, thank you so much. Good to see you again from the Philippines. You're new, welcome here to the launch pad. You're watching our live launch coverage of tonight's H-IIA rocket, carrying 1 communication satellite from Japan. Next up is fairing separation in about 1 minute from now. For it, see some people asking onboard cameras. I don't believe so. We're all pretty lucky to be used to having those from SpaceX and a few others. But I don't believe we're going to see any, but hopefully they'll have an animation here for us. This is our first time covering, I believe, a Japan launch. So excited to have you all here with us. Johnny Spacer, Super Chat, love launches, but without stage 1 landing, it's just not as fulfilling. There's something about seeing a rocket land each time that definitely makes it good, but hopefully we'll see some Falcon launches here in the near future. We got Crew 3 coming up in just a few days, so hopefully we will see you guys here for that. But if you're new, take a moment, engage that subscribe button. It does really help us out. For it, also consider joining our Discord. It's totally free to do so. We'll be hanging out in live comms following this launch to continue answering your questions. Coming up in about 15 seconds is when we're expecting fairing separation from the top of the rocket there. About 5 seconds or so from here, we may or may not see the little white dots kind of jettison out to the side. It is quite high up there, currently traveling over 2 kilometers a second, already 150 kilometers in altitude. We've had fairing separation there, and you can see that live tracking view of where it's launching straight east out of Japan. Next up is main engine cutoff, or MECO, scheduled at T plus 6 minutes 36 seconds. You can kind of follow along with that tracker on the left side of your screen there. That is the next major event, followed by the first stage separation. Mars says the SRB jettison on this rocket looks a lot like it did on the shuttle. Is that a coincidence, or did JAXA communicate with NASA when they developed this rocket? That's a great question. I don't actually have an answer for that, Mars. This rocket's been launching since 2001. It had its maiden flight on August 29th. This variant, the 202, has launched 43 times, and it's only had one failure, and its failure was in 2003. Otherwise, it has had an extremely successful career as a rocket, with 42 successful launches there. Currently passing through 190 kilometers in altitude, 3.5 kilometers a second. Coming up about a minute away from main engine cutoff. Give a quick live view of the pad as it is cleared. I left the pad nice and clear there, but a nice quick launch off the pad. Really just leaped off there as that mission got underway. Well, let's listen in. We're getting some audio here. Not sure if yeah, I'm not gonna be able to translate that. Sorry, guys. Hugo's asking, do you actually speak Japanese? That I do not. I wish I did. I know some people that do. So now we're gonna have to have a guest for Korea, which I've already lined that up for the next one. But now I'll have to find someone that speaks Japanese for us. Alfie says, it's nearly 4 a.m. Gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Alfie. Great to have you here. Lucius, as neat as a booster separation is, and landing a booster still doesn't beat watching a Saturn V. We need an SN with the boosters to beat that. Absolutely. Those SRBs are powerful. Yes, they really are. If you're hanging out with us as we wait for that, have that successful main engine cutoff there and separation, as we continue towards through that second stage ignition and burn, passing through 245 kilometers in altitude, traveling just under 5 kilometers a second. The launch pad looks like a big H. It does look like a big H for the H-2 rocket. Trebler, I can't wait for another Minotaur launch. Those things leap off the pad. Absolutely. Alicia's nice weather. So many rough storms off Japan. I don't think I would like to have a business launching from there. They definitely have quite a bit of strong weather from the side there, but yeah, just like Kennedy. Kennedy's got quite a bit of weather with the hurricane season, so lots of planning goes into it. But we're glad that they had a nice, successful, clean count here, as they are currently in that first of 2 burns of the second stage. This burn's expected to last for just under 6 minutes here. You can see on that left side that orange bar slowly creeping down, but we're waiting for that big moment of stage separation and payload deployment at T plus 28 minutes and 26 seconds. So we got about 20 minutes. We're going to be hanging out, answering your guys' questions live, so you can send those in the chat. Just make sure that you tag us at the launch pad. That makes sure that I am able to see it and go from there. Liberty Dude, for a pizza to power your late night Discord chats, have a fantastically superb evening. Liberty Dude, thank you so much. You were too generous, Liberty Dude. Thank you. Cole, what's your prediction for S20 BN4 orbital flight? From what we've heard from some people down actually at Starbase, currently they are targeting November. That's when SpaceX will be ready. Big question is, will the FAA be ready? So that's where we're all sitting and waiting, crossing our fingers. The public has until November 1st to submit their public feedback. So I think November is not possible for a launch. Maybe December, but we'll wait and see. For the actual, for the actual outcome of the launch, I think there's 3 major points where we could see failure in it. The fact that this is the first one, I think we'll either see some sort of failure right on the pad, that first second, or I think we'll see some sort of failure with the staging, or re-entry. Honestly, re-entry is where I've got my money that we're going to see the biggest issue. I think launching will be okay, but we'll have to see. Those are my three kind of bigger watch points. Let us know in the chat what you guys think. How do you think the launch of BS 420, the first ever Starship orbital flight, will go? David's asking, what kind of engines do they use? Great question there, David. So they have the LE7A engine for their first stage and an LE5B for their second stage. Both use liquid hydrogen and LOX. The first stage is a thrust of 1,098 kilograms. Let's see here. Yep, 1,000. Oh, that's. Yep, 1,098. And then the second stage is 137. So a little bit different there for it. Obviously, the SRBs are a big support there. 2,520 each. So you've got over 5,000 kilonewtons of thrust just from those SRBs. So quite a powerful rocket. Successfully lifted off from Japan here, coming up at that 11-minute mark. Waiting for the first of the two burns to complete here. The first burn expected to time out at T plus 12 minutes 33 seconds. Then they'll have a coast phase for 12 minutes, followed by a second engine cutoff at T plus 27 minutes. Johnny Spacer says re-entry failure. Brad says Liberty Dew was the one that gave you an exact time yesterday. Yeah, that was weird. He was spot on. That was weird, but pretty cool. Hugo, where in Canada are you from, Zach? I am in Edmonton. That's where I'm from. Mizumo, the Launchpad. Have you seen the anime Space Brothers? It's a great look into the Japanese space program. Albeit set in the near future. That didn't happen. Real astronauts active. I have not seen that, but I'm going to save that message there. And I'll try to take a look at that sometime in the future there. Be great to see. Chris Hay from Canada. Kevin saying November launch. Or Starship. Alicious, SN will definitely orbit. That's all I'm saying. But if Bezos has any satellites up there, it might just run into it. You never know these days. Almost FM re-entry isn't going to go off well until they get the problem with the SN20 shedding its tiles fixed. That it's losing tiles on a third-second static fire does not bode well. There's a great call out there, Almost FM. They are definitely having to work on those tiles, trying to figure out how to keep them on board and not fall off. See how it happens. Thomas makes Zach a slave to YouTube. Basically already am. Brad, guess time on pizza. See them Jedi tricks. There's a challenge. There's a true challenge. Thanks so much, Thomas. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys in the Discord in a bit. Hey, Joe. Take care, Zach. Back to editing video. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, once I'm done this, we've got 2 space news updates coming your guys' way here, hopefully tonight. But if you hadn't yet, also, we did have our first space update come out here tonight, talking about the major development with NASA looking for a new spacecraft for the Commercial Crew program. If you guys haven't seen that yet, take a moment and you can check that out here. And it looks like they're showing us some of the variants of the rockets here. As we count down towards that, we'll see if they possibly just wrap up the feed, but we'll see. At this point, we are in that coast phase of about 12 minutes, awaiting for that second stage to have another burn to finalize its orbit. Johnny, March 2022 launch because U.S. government doesn't want SLS launch to be overshadowed. That's a very interesting thought. I've heard a few people mention that they think that Starship might get pushed and delayed because they want Artemis to occur first. Artemis is fully stacked, the SLS rocket, in the VAB, so it's ready to go. So that's a very interesting thought there. Liberty Dude, I think when an orbital launch is permitted, SpaceX will be beyond S20B4. I see many interesting testing coming for them. We could, yeah, I mean, could they do some other testings with BS 420 and use BS 521 for the orbital flight? Possibly. They do still have 2 suborbital launches approved. This animation on your screen coming up here is a great animation of these 4 satellites and how they are working. So tonight they are replacing one of these 4 I believe they are replacing the one that is further out. That gives that kind of constant view for how, yeah, just this communication system works. Liberty SLS will not fly. You don't think it's going to fly? Thanks, Hugo. I appreciate that. One alien, what about Blue Origin Space Station Orbital Reef? If you wait an hour, alien, I've got a space update coming your way. We're going to break down everything in there. So give me about an hour, and that update is coming your way on the channel. Really awesome seeing that update. 2 new space stations announced, so keep an eye out on the channel later tonight. 2 space news updates announcing those 2 brand new space stations. We dive into all the details of the stations, their crew complements, their actual structures on what they'll actually be able to be used for. So stay tuned for that. They're really quick, about 2.5 minute updates, but break down everything there. Michael, we need both SLS and Starship to be successful. It only benefits us. I mean, right now, if SLS doesn't work, Artemis is going to be extremely delayed because that's the only way to get Orion up. And it doesn't seem like they want to rush to crew certify HLS and the super heavy boosters. So SLS is our best bet for the beginning of Artemis, and then Starship will eventually be crew rated. Liberty Dude, another one. From Thomas Tusak for the syrup fund. Oh my goodness. I don't even know the last time I had syrup. Probably at the hotel for Inspiration 4. You guys are crazy. Thank you, Liberty Dude. I appreciate that. We gotta find a better way for you, Liberty Dude, to donate. That way the money doesn't go to YouTube. They take 30%. Mars 2028. At the launch pad, could an alternative to Starliner be put on Orion spacecraft on a Vulcan rocket? Are we watching a soccer game now? I guess they're doing a sports update here. We're gonna switch over just to a live view of the pad while they do a sports update. But we'll keep an eye out as we do have. What time should we be expecting that second stage separation here? About 10-15 minutes here. What are these screen fillers? I feel like they're having an ad break. So I'm not going to show the ads because these people have not paid to advertise here. But absolutely crazy. Treasury dives. Where in Canada can we see launches? Canada, we really don't see any. There is a launch site being developed on the East Coast at this time. But at this point, it's not going to be anything like a Falcon launch. It's going to be a smaller launch vehicle for kind of CubeSats and stuff. Other than that, your best bets are California, Florida, or Alaska with Astra. But Canada, unfortunately, we don't have a launch complex, at least not yet. This satellite is speeding up the tablet Wi-Fi for children and find your lost grandpa. I love the interpretation of how this satellite's going to help the people. Hugo set up PayPal. That's a great option. Yeah, PayPal would work. PayPal or GoFundMe. We can set that back up. We had one before. But PayPal would work. Which would work for you, Liberty Dude? I just don't want to waste your funds. You're so generous. Japanese commercials are weird. I like them. I like seeing different countries' commercials. Oh, I missed it. They had a great scene that showed you what Alberta looks like in the winter. Liberty Dude, for YouTube Fund, a platform, even with its flaws, has a wonderful platform for people like that. Thank you. Liberty Dude, you got it. Oh my goodness. You were extremely generous. Thank you. Mars, don't forget Virginia and Wallops. Yeah, that's a good call out there. Desi says try Google Pay. I haven't worked with Google Pay. I'll try to take a look at that. Nozamu? I hope I said that right. Dream Chaser will be Vulcan compatible. Correct. It'll be Vulcan compatible. I believe it was New Glenn compatible. It has to fit within a 5-meter fairing. So anything that can have a 5-meter fairing can do it. Nozamu, though, it's pretty clear that Sierra is working on a manned version, even though they only have a cargo contract. Yeah, they're working on it for their new space station. So they're absolutely working on it. So the fact that, they could still submit now for possibly a crewed version of the ISS and get some funding for it sounds pretty good to me if they're just not going to overwork themselves. So Michael, Texas launch sites, true. Don't, yeah, there are, I guess, a few others there. Hugo, you say we are the people working with you on the. Are there people working with you on the channel? Absolutely. So we are building our team for it. You can meet some of them in the Discord. We've got Marcus, we've got Ben, we got Kieran, we've got Brant, we've got. Oh, this is bad. I'm gonna forget one of them. We have got Bradley, we've got Tyler, we've got Brandon. A bunch of people helping in different ways. Some as advisors, some as mentors, some as contributors, helping collect to make sure we can stay on top of all of our space news. Oh, I got Ian joining as well with our brand new space show. They'll be launching in just a couple of weeks as well, which will be a YouTube live show, but also a audio podcast show as well, and radio show there. So lots of things coming soon. But also the collective we. We believe that you guys are very much part of our team in a way as well. You guys help keep us up to date. Maybe you guys ask a question and I don't have an answer, but someone else does. So we are a team space all together. Liberty Dew, my donations are nothing more than a need to have fun in life and fuel my psychology. Oh, Liberty Dude, thank you. Marcus, hi Marcus. Ar- uh, oh, Zach, yes, sorry, Zach. That was really bad. It's really weird saying your own name, even though there's another Zach that's part of our team too. But it's really, yeah, I always forget it because it's like it's weird saying my own name. Liberty Dude, so is it Zach as people keep posting in the chat or Zach? See, so I spell it Z-A-C. There's another Zach that spells it Z-A-C-H. Hey Daniel, good to see you. David, you're awesome. Thanks so much. I respond to all the spellings though. I'm used to them. We are seeing that other stream showing us another wide shot of the launch site here. T0 was expected at the top of the hour, or let's see here. We are about 22 minutes into the flight. So at this point in the flight, we haven't had any updates, but we should have be coming up on that second stage, reigniting for a short 3-minute burn to finalize its orbit, followed a minute later by stage separation. So hopefully we'll have an update here, but it doesn't look like they're going to put that. Well, hopefully we'll get that live telemetry back up. Kevin in more on moral support. Hey, we're all part of the team. The Zamu, I'm hoping they develop Starship-based space station modules, rip out anything related to landing, and put another docking port in the front. Be great to have a Skylab-sized module again. That's true. That would be really great to see, and that's basically what HLS is. See, HLS doesn't have to have that landing because it's never going to land. So that's a good sign there. We got our telemetry back up here. Up next, second stage ignition for that short, just under 3-minute burn, finalizing the orbit. Hugo, you're awesome. Zach, 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 Zach. So many. Michael, you're spot on there. Yeah, that's the full name, Zachary. So, Metcraft, we have been away from any live coverage, and I'm wondering why. I think it's because they were possibly showing this on a live TV channel too, so they had to put a commercial break in there. Also, if you're seeing that telemetry now, there was a ground station dropout. So it's possibly that rather than showing just an empty map, they decided to go a commercial break there. Not too sure. Good question. Liberty News. So there are two Zach. Saying thanks to either works. Good to know. And thanks to all who give their time and energy to bring us this spectacular information. Thanks, Liberty Dude. Make sure we pass that off to the team. I know most of them are in the chat or watching, so we appreciate your support and what we do. You make it possible. We are seeing its orbit currently at 257 kilometers. It is descending just a little bit, traveling at 7.5 kilometers a second and increasing, which is a good sign that that burn has started. Now, this could be very similar to an Atlas rocket where we actually see it lower its altitude as part of this burn, pick up a little extra speed, and then it actually increases its altitude. We keep an eye out here as it completes this burn. Looking like it's already covered probably about a quarter of the globe at this point. Marcus, Zach is the one on camera, and Zach is a fellow team member behind the scenes. Absolutely. Mars, the HLS is a human landing system. It'll land on the moon, but not on Earth. Did I miss a question? No. Nozomu, the human landing system, is never going to land. So the HLS, Nozumo, will never return to Earth for landing. So the HLS, the white one that you see behind me here, will launch from Earth on a booster, go to lunar orbit, dock with either the Orion space capsule or the Lunar Gateway Station. Orion capsules will be first, and then the station will be built, and then it'll go to the station. And then it'll act like a taxi to the lunar surface. So it will land on the moon, but it can never re-enter and land on Earth. So it will not have flaps. It will not have re-entry shields. It won't need to have... it might have a header tank. I'm not sure. They haven't worked on that yet that we know of. But it'll never have to do a landing like that. So it doesn't need as much thrust or fuel or anything like that like it would if it was coming home. Kelly, what? It launched already? It did launch. It launched about 25 minutes ago, 26 minutes ago now. We are coming up on 1 minute left in this second stage burn. This is the second burn of the second stage, and then about 2 minutes away from payload deployment. But jump back, Kelly, there, and you'll be able to see it. Or wait till the stream's over and watch the whole stream there. Currently traveling 9.25 kilometers a second. We are seeing that altitude starting to increase again, so that's what it did. It lowered it a little to pick up some speed, and now is climbing, passing through 250 kilometers in altitude, heading up to actual orbit of... I don't believe they actually gave us the final altitude. They did launch into a inclination of 45 degrees, though. So straight across the equator there. Do we know a lifespan of HLS? We do not. We do not know that. It's something that eventually there's kind of two options, three now options that can happen with it. One option, final crew, it takes them up to the station and gets permanently docked to that station or becomes its own station. And maybe they add a module on with other docking adapters. Personally, I'm a big fan of that. Second option, it lands vertically on the moon, stays stationed there, and just becomes a skyscraper on the moon, which could happen pretty quick. We have a big downtown core of these HLS skyscrapers that look neat. Third option is there's a new thought of, what if we could land some cargo along with them in a cargo starship, and then actually build a crane system with the lighter gravity to actually be able to tip them down and lay Starship flat along the surface and to have those turn into habitats. Because then the ground, you can take out the tanks and turn those into living quarters, or you could use the tanks for other things on the ground. Land another HLS next to it, fuel it up, and you got fuel on the surface, or water, or anything like that. But there we go. We have had confirmation of payload separation. A successful flight for Japan in the H-IIA rocket there. But a nice quick one here for today's flights. Some great views off on the shore as well. But that is going to do it for us for our live launch coverage of today's launch from Japan. The H-IIA rocket carrying the QZ or ZS-1R communication satellite into orbit, replacing its predecessor that was launched 11 years ago. Nozomu, the landing engines on SLS will not need much thrust, so I imagine they will be pressure fed. Will not need a header tank since no flip, but might need a separate... Correct, exactly. Spot on there, Nozomu. Ideally, you make HLS resistant to compression, so that could bury it in... Yep, absolutely. There's one of the ideas. Looks like some nice surfing waters. It did look nice out there. Absolutely. But I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. If you have not yet, make sure you engage that like, subscribe button. It really does help us out. Take a moment, check out our Discord. It's totally free to join. I'm going to be heading back over to the Discord because we were actually in there working on some other stuff. But we're going to jump over there and continue that conversation there. If you haven't yet, take a moment also and check out our Etsy shop. Pick up some of your Starbase Starship merch so it gets to you in time to wear for your orbital flight test whenever that occurs. Hugo, where can we get some of the rock models in the background? I want a gift for my dad for his birthday. That's awesome, Hugo. Really great options over on Etsy. You're going to want to look up, I'll put it in the chat, Etsy. You want to look up Bohimzo? Bohimzo or Starship Balls. And then, yeah, just let them know that TLP sent you. We'd appreciate that. We don't get anything out of it, but it's nice when they know where you guys found their models. So take a look at those. We are working on our website and working on trying to get you guys some discounts on stuff as well. Hopefully in the next little bit as well. Cage, unfortunate that I missed the launch itself, but good stream all the same. Thanks so much, Cage. Appreciate it. Metcraft, I subbed. Awesome. Hugo, if you have questions, if you're in the Discord, just send me a DM and I can let you know a little bit more information about the models and help you out there. Try to find something that works. Because there's a few other options we haven't ordered from yet that there might also work for you. So you can shoot us a message there. But that's going to do it for us here at the Launchpad. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. And we believe that space is better together. So we invite you to be part of our crew by subscribing. We are going to keep watching to see if any other launches pop up on the schedule. We know coming up, we have Crew 3 launching on October 31st in the very early morning, so we'll be going live on October 30th. But in the meantime, there are a number of China launches that are scheduled, so if live views are available, we will bring those to you. We've got the Progress MS, we've got a Progress Soyuz mission coming up here in the near future as well. So stay tuned for that. We will be live for that on October 28th. As well as, of course, then as I said, Crew 3. And then we have Electron coming up on November 11th. So lots of things coming soon, as well as space news updates, our new live show, and more. So make sure you've subscribed, and we will see you then. But for now, this is Zach with the Launchpad, signing off. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you in the Discord. Bye-bye.